Are you an exhausted parent who thinks you won't get 8 straight hours of sleep again until your kid goes off to college? You've been lied to about how your baby's stomach works at night today. I'm going to reveal the exact trick that infant sleep consultants charge thousands of dollars to teach you. It's called the Dream Feed, and it's the difference between looking like a zombie and feeling like a functional human being. I'm going to explain exactly what this method is, how to apply it step by step without waking your little one, and the fatal timing mistake. The vast majority of parents make a mistake that ruins the whole process. Stick with me, because your nights and your sanity are about to change forever. Let's talk about reality. Having a baby is an incredible experience, but no one prepares you for the physical and mental torture that is sleep deprivation. Recent sleep health studies show that new parents lose an average of 44 days of sleep just during their baby's first year of life. That's more than a whole month of your life evaporating in the dark. Walking the halls at 3 in the morning, praying your kid closes their eyes again. Sleep deprivation isn't just being tired, it's a form of torture that affects your memory, your patience, your relationship, and your physical health. You get irritable. You start forgetting where you put your keys, or worse, you put the TV remote in the fridge. If you're going through this, I want you to know it's not your fault and you are not alone. But I also want you to know there's a way out. And that way out doesn't involve leaving your baby crying alone in their crib. That way out is about science, biology, and a little trick called the Dream Feed. Picture this. Your baby goes to bed at 7 at night. They fall fast asleep. You breathe a sigh of relief, sit on the couch, eat a quick dinner, maybe watch an episode of your favorite show, and go to bed at 10 o'clock. Right when you're about to fall into your deepest sleep, at midnight, you hear the crying. The baby is hungry. You get up, feed them, burp them, put them back to sleep, and get back to your bed at 1 in the morning. Then, the baby wakes up again at 4 in the morning. And then at 6. You are fragmenting your own sleep into pieces so small that your brain never actually gets to rest. Your sleep cycles are completely out of sync with your child's. This is where the Dream Feed comes in. Think of your baby's stomach like the gas tank of a small car. If you fill it up at 7 at night, it's going to run out of gas at midnight. It's basic biology. But what if you could top off that gas tank right before you go to sleep, without turning the car's engine off? That is exactly what we do here. The Dream Feed consists of taking your baby out of their crib, feeding them while they are completely asleep, and putting them back to bed. The main goal here isn't getting the baby to sleep more hours in total, but aligning their longest stretch of sleep with your longest stretch of sleep. If you fill their tank at 10:30 at night, right before your head hits the pillow, that baby will have enough fuel to keep sleeping until 3 or 4 in the morning, or even longer. That means you get an uninterrupted block of 5, 6, or 7 hours of sleep. And sleeping 5 hours straight, when you're a new parent, feels like winning the lottery. But let's get into the science of why this works. Because babies aren't machines and you can't just plug a bottle into them. Babies have very different sleep cycles than adults. While we spend a lot of time in deep sleep, babies spend almost 50% of their time in active or light sleep. During this state, they can move, make noises, smile, and even open their eyes for a second, but they are still asleep. Plus, babies are born with incredible survival reflexes. One of the strongest is the rooting and sucking reflex. If you touch a sleeping baby's cheek or lips, their natural instinct will be to turn their head, open their mouth, and start sucking. They don't need to be awake to do this. Their reptilian brain, the oldest and most basic part of their nervous system, takes over and says it's time to eat to survive. That's why you can feed a sleeping baby. Their body does the work for you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about the golden rule of parenting that says you should never, ever, under any circumstances, wake a sleeping baby. It sounds crazy to go into your peaceful child's room and shove food in their mouth. It feels like tempting fate, and you are right to be scared, because if you do this wrong, you are going to wake the baby up and you're going to regret it. That's why you need flawless technique. Let's break down the step by step so you can become a night feeding ninja. Step 1 is timing. This is the most critical detail, and where most people fail. The golden window for this is between 10 and 11 at night. Why at this time? Because if you do it too early, say at 9, the baby won't be hungry enough and won't eat enough to make the risk worth it. If you do it too late, after midnight, you'll be interrupting their natural sleep cycle when they're about to wake up from hunger anyway. And all you'll do is wake them up completely. Plus, you go to bed around 10 or 11. The idea is to sync up the clocks. Step 2. The environment. This has to be a covert operation. Walk into the room like you're walking on eggshells. Keep the lights off. If you need to see something, use a small red night light. Red light doesn't interrupt the production of melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. The blue light from your cell phone or the bright white overhead light will tell the baby's brain that it's daytime and time to play. Don't talk. Don't sing. Don't tell them how cute they are. Keep the environment boring, dark, and silent. Step 3. The extraction. If your baby is wrapped in a swaddle or sleep sack, do not unswaddle them. The cold air on their skin will wake them up immediately. Take them out of the crib with very slow and gentle movements. Support them in your arms in a semi-reclined position. Don't lay them completely flat because they could choke, and don't sit them up too straight because they'll wake up. Keep their head slightly elevated, exactly how you would during a normal daytime feed. Step 4. The connection. If you're going to bottle feed, gently touch their lower lip or cheek with the nipple. You'll see the magic happen. Their little mouth will open like a baby bird and they'll start sucking. If you're breastfeeding, it's exactly the same. Bring your nipple to their lower lip and let their rooting reflex do the rest. Don't force it. If after a few minutes of trying to stimulate their lips, they don't open their mouth, it means they are in too deep a sleep phase. In that case, leave them alone. Put them back in the crib and go to sleep. It's better to miss the feeding opportunity than to wake a baby who doesn't want to eat. Step 5. The amount. The goal here isn't for them to eat a giant feast. If you feed them too much, their stomach will get overfull, their tummy will hurt, and they'll wake up crying from indigestion. You just want to give them enough to top off the tank. If they normally drink 4 ounces, maybe they'll drink 3 ounces during this sleepy feed. If you breastfeed and they normally eat for 20 minutes, maybe they'll only eat for 10 minutes. Once you notice their sucking gets very slow or they let go of the bottle or breast, it means they are done. Do not force them to keep eating. And now we get to the biggest problem, and the challenge that scares all parents. Gas. Everyone knows that after eating, the baby has to burp. If you put a baby to sleep with air in their stomach, that air will turn into horrible pain in a few hours and they'll wake up screaming. But how do you burp a baby who is sleeping like a log? If you pat them hard on the back like you do during the day, you'll wake them up. Here is the trick to solving that problem. Forget about the back pats. Instead, use gravity and gentle rubbing. When they finish eating, lift the baby up very slowly and hold them upright against your chest, so their head rests on your shoulder. Their own weight against your body will put very gentle pressure on their stomach. Then, use the palm of your hand to rub their back in slow, firm circular motions, going from bottom to top. Sometimes, just holding them in this upright position for about 10 or 15 minutes is enough for the air to rise and come out on its own with a little sigh, without even making a loud noise. Now, there's something important that science tells us about babies who eat in their sleep. Because they are so relaxed, they swallow a lot less air than when they are awake and crying for food. A crying baby gulps down mouthfuls of air. A relaxed eating baby barely swallows any air. Because of this, many babies don't even need to burp after this secret night feed. If you hold them on your shoulder for 15 minutes and nothing happens, don't stress. Put them back in their crib very gently, but we have to explore what happens when things don't go according to plan. Because in real life, babies don't read instruction manuals. What happens if you're doing everything perfectly, and suddenly the baby opens their eyes wide? Don't panic. The worst thing you can do is react with fear, turn on the light, or start rocking them desperately. If they open their eyes, keep your breathing calm and deep. Avoid direct eye contact. Babies are like little human energy radars. If you make eye contact, they'll think it's time to interact. Keep your gaze low, keep feeding them or holding them against your chest, and make a steady, soft shushing sound near their ear. Most of the time, their eyes will close again within a minute, and they'll go back to dreamland. Another common scenario. What if your baby suffers from reflux? Babies with reflux have a valve in their stomach that is still very immature, and stomach acid easily travels up the esophagus, causing them a lot of pain. If your doctor has told you your child has severe reflux, this technique might not be the best idea. Laying a baby with reflux down immediately after eating can make their condition worse. If you decide to try it, make sure to keep them upright on your chest for at least 20 or 30 minutes before putting them back to bed. Let's talk about ages, because you can't do this forever. There is an ideal time range to apply this trick. Infant sleep experts agree that you shouldn't try this before the baby is about 6 weeks old. During the first few weeks, newborns need to eat on demand constantly because their stomachs are the size of a cherry. Their weight needs to stabilize and your milk supply, if you're nursing, needs to regulate. Plus, newborns sleep so chaotically that trying to establish a nighttime routine is like trying to teach math to a cat. It doesn't work. The perfect time to start is between 2 months and 4 months of age. That's when their stomach has grown enough to hold more food, and when they start consolidating their nighttime sleep blocks. This is where you'll see the biggest benefits. But heads up, there is an expiration date. You don't want to keep doing this when your baby is 8 or 9 months old. Why? Because there comes a point in the baby's development when their digestive system and brain are mature, enough to go 10 or 12 full hours without taking in calories. If you keep dream feeding them when they're 8 months old, you'll be interfering with the quality of their deep sleep, and you could be creating an unnecessary dependency on food to sleep. Also, around 6 months, babies start teething. Letting milk sit in their mouth all night without cleaning it can cause early cavities. So how do you know when it's time to stop? The main sign is rejection. One day, at 5 or 6 months, you're going to try to put the bottle to their lips and they won't open their mouth. They'll turn their head and keep snoring. That is their way of telling you they don't need your nighttime help anymore. The other way to know is to try weaning the feed little by little. If you were giving 4 ounces, give 3 for a few days, then 2, and then just stop. If they sleep through the night without that meal, congratulations, you've graduated. I want to get to the most important moment of this whole journey. The emotional climax every parent experiences when they master this technique. Picture the scene. You've been practicing this for a week. At first, you were scared. Your hands were sweating when you took them out of the crib. But tonight you are calm. You walk into the room at 10:30. The red light barely illuminates the outline of their little face. You pick them up. They eat perfectly. You put them on your shoulder. They let out a silent little burp. You put them back in the crib. You go to your bed and close your eyes. Suddenly you wake up. You look out the window and see light coming in. Sunlight. You go into full panic mode. You feel like your heart is beating out of your throat. You look at the clock and it's 6 in the morning. You run to the baby's room, thinking something terrible has happened. You open the door and there they are, breathing quietly, sucking their thumb, completely asleep. You realize what just happened. You slept. You slept 7 hours straight, no interruptions, no crying. You feel like a new person. The colors in your house look brighter. You feel like you have the energy to go run a marathon. That is the magic of aligning your child's sleep with yours. It gives you your humanity back. And when you rest, you are a better parent. You have more patience to play. Your mind is clear to understand their needs during the day. And the whole atmosphere of the house shifts from survival to pure happiness. To summarize the golden rules of the dream feed, I want you to burn this into your brain. 1. Do it between 10 and 11 at night, right before you go to sleep. 2. Keep the environment dark, boring, and free of social interaction. 3. Don't take them out of their sleep sack or change their diaper unless it's genuinely dirty, because changing a diaper guarantees they'll wake up. 4. Use the natural reflex of their lips to get them to start eating. 5. Hold them upright gently to deal with the air, without any harsh back pats. And 6. Be patient. Like everything related to babies, it can take 3 to 5 nights for their body to get used to this new rhythm. Don't let the fear of waking your baby stop you from trying a strategy that could give you your sanity back. You are your child's guide, and sometimes you need to intervene smartly to help their body rest better, which in turn saves your own rest. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental biological need for both your baby's growth and your ability to parent with love and without being on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Watch this next video to find out why white noise might be ruining your baby's hearing if you're using it wrong.